Hey, how's it going, everybody? Gabriel, Santiago here. This is the Speaking of Harmony podcast, and this is episode 26. Thank you so much for all the feedback. It's been amazing. Keep the question coming. It's been a pleasure to be talking about harmony and music with you guys. Before we go to today's subject, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the little bell thing. This is all my social media stuff. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up with the video, with a like. It will help a lot. And also don't forget to sign up for the main list. The link is in the video description. All right, on today's episode, we're going to talk about something that is being asked a lot about Brazilian music and the way I play. There's Brazilian rhythms and everything. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. It was something that I call the swing of the 16th notes in Brazilian music. It's something that one has to understand in order to play this music the way you're supposed to play, right? So a lot of Brazilian music is played in 2/4 instead of 4/4. So samba and bossa nova are played in 2/4, not 4/4. And I'll get into that in another episode. But today I'm going to talk specifically about a thing that I talk about all the time, which I call the swing of the 16th note, which means our grid is different compared to other styles like rock or jazz or a lot of the American music is heavily based on the 8th note. It's kind of the grid. I'll give you an example, right? So if you play like a swing tune or something like that, you want to say 1, 2, 1, 2, I can play this 1, 2, 1. So the phrasing is all 8 note. Right, and swung and all that stuff. Right, the swung 8 note, but still nonetheless an 8 note. Right. What happened with Brazilian music most of the time is that our grid is at 16 notes. That's what really makes it to shine, all the swirl of 16 notes that really make the rhythm to be, what it is. I'll give you an example. So if I transfer the same kind of grid of 8 note to a groove like I was playing in the beginning, like a samba groove or a bossa nova or something similar, I would play something like this, like. There's nothing really particularly wrong about it. It sounds fine. And if I would kind of beat the rhythms over here with my hands, having an 8 note grid would sound kind of like this, like. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2. It would sound something like that. But now, check it out. I'm going to do the same rhythm with my hands, but now I'm going to change the grid. Switch the grid for a 16 note grid. See how it sounds now. See how different they are? So when you play, you have to play under this grid, if you will. So instead of playing like this, check it out now, 16 note grids. You see the difference? It's night and day. Like all this fine tuning, all these little details, they really makes a difference on the groove. So whenever I'm playing Brazilian music and stuff, I'm always in the 16th note grid. That's very important. Another very important thing, in specifically about samba and bossa nova and these rhythms, these genres, they are heavily accented not on the downbeat on beat 1, it's on beat 2. That's where the accent is. That you can see that the way I'm playing, you know. So when you play this 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, you see the accent. 1 2 1 see, I'm not accenting the downbeat, the first beat, I'm accenting the second one. So that's the strongest beat. 1 2 1 2. That's that's a very known confusion, if you will. It happens when we try to play that without the 16-note grid and without accenting the first. It gets this kind of sound like 1 2 1 2. You get this kind of bass line that you probably heard in a lot of like American bossa nova style kind of stuff, right? And that kind of leads you to play a different rhythm, a different pattern, if you will. You know, usually. So it's a strong accent on 1 instead of on 2. We have there's a strong accent in the wrong place. Look at the difference now. That's a very, very basic tip I have for you guys. When you try to play this kind of music, you gotta change the grid. Low, you gotta do with like small values, like 16 notes. That's where it is, because you have all this. You see that this sort of like rhythm pattern I was doing. This is an 8-note grid, as opposed to a 16-note grid. You see, that's a big difference. I can show you on this instrument, for instance. I have here that's what we call tamborim in Brazil, not the tambourine in English, which is pandeiro in Portuguese. This is called the tamborim. It's a major instrument in samba to play in the percussion corps and the percussion ensemble. So when we play this, we apply that same concept of the 16-note grid. You have to play like this, otherwise it doesn't groove. So we do that by playing here, you know, but also with a finger here. That's how you get the swirl 16 note. So instead of playing like this, it will sound like just playing over here. It will play something like, you know, the 8-note grid, right? Now check out the 16-note grid with this finger over here. See? This. That's what gives the 16-note grid. Instead of playing, you play. Right? The same thinking goes with the guitar. You have to figure out the same way. That's pretty much what I'm doing here. I'm kind of imitating the instrument here. I'm playing, instead of playing, I'm playing this. that's how you should see it. That's the tip for today. Sleep on that, try that, experiment with that groove and see if you can see the difference between an 8-note grid to a 16-note grid. You see there's a huge difference, right? Before we go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the little bell with the notifications. This is all my social media stuff. And don't forget to sign up for the mailing list. I have a great thing coming up for you guys that are interested in Brazilian music and learning how to play stuff on guitar. Watch out, because I'm coming up with something cool for you, right? So see you on the next one.